it's hard to understand. So what's so dangerous about something which is so kind of narrow in its abilities? And I would say that the danger doesn't come from the big robot rebellion. It comes from the AI bureaucracies. Already today, and more, we will have not one big AI trying to take over the world. We will have millions and billions of AIs constantly making decisions about us everywhere.
Millions of AIs, not a single godlike machine, but a swarm. That was historian Yuval Noah Harari, and his warning is simple. We're all looking for the wrong enemy. We've been trained by science fiction to fear the day AI becomes conscious, but the true danger isn't an intelligence that hates us, it's an intelligence that feels nothing at all. Today, we're breaking down that warning and connecting it to events unfolding right now. You're about to see why these invisible AI bureaucracies are a more immediate threat than any killer robot. But to understand this threat, you first have to understand the terrifying speed at which it's evolving. Harari uses a biological analogy that will completely change how you see the next 10 years.
Again, we can think about it like the evolution of animals. Until you get to humans, you have 4 billion years of evolution. You start with microorganisms like amoebas, and it took billions of years of evolution to get to dinosaurs and mammals and humans. Now, AIs are at present at the beginning of a parallel process. The chatgpt and so forth, they are the amoebas of the AI world. But AI evolution is not organic. It's inorganic, it's digital, and it's millions of times faster. So whereas it took billions of years to get from amoebas to dinosaurs, it might take just 10 or 20 years to get from the AI amoebas of today to AI T-Rex in 2040 or 2050.
Maybe even less.
We're
talking about, I don't think our brains are organized properly to really comprehend the accelerated speed at which this is self-learning and iterating and improving upon itself. Like this, it's a compounding thing that is astronomical.
Maybe even less. That's the key phrase that should send a shiver down your spine. The AI amoeba to the AI T-Rex. It's a brilliant analogy because it forces our biological brains to confront a digital timescale. Think about it like this. We are compressing the entire 4 billion year history of life on Earth into the span of a single generation. We're in the primordial soup right now, tinkering with the building blocks. But the dinosaurs aren't millions of years away. They're scheduled to arrive next Tuesday. This isn't hyperbole. This is the reality of exponential growth. Just 5 years ago, in 2019, OpenAI's GPT-2 model could barely write a coherent paragraph. Today, GPT-4 can pass the bar exam, score in the top percentiles on the SATs, and write complex computer code. This leap is the equivalent of an amoeba learning to build a skyscraper in the geological blink of an eye. And the world is betting trillions on this accelerated timeline. Look at the markets. A single company, NVIDIA, which makes the specialized chips that act as the neurons for this new life form, has seen its valuation soar past that of historic giants like Amazon and Google. Why? Because a global arms race is on to build the physical infrastructure, the massive server farms, the nuclear power plants Sam Altman says will be necessary to host this inorganic evolution. We are quite literally building the ecosystem for the AI T-Rex. So if this new entity is evolving at a speed we can't barely comprehend, it begs the question, what is the true nature of its threat? Our minds immediately jump to the Hollywood blockbuster. We've all been trained to fear the moment AI becomes conscious, the moment the robots with glowing red eyes decide to rebel. It's a simple, visceral fear. But according to Harari, it's a complete misdirection. He argues that the real danger isn't conscious malice, but something far more subtle, and in a way, far more boring. He calls it the AI bureaucracy. And the terrifying thing is it's already here.
And on the other hand, it's very difficult to appreciate the dangers because the dangers, again, they are kind of alien. Like if you think about nuclear energy, it also had positive potential, cheap nuclear energy, but people had a very good grasp of the danger. Nuclear war. Anybody can understand the danger of that. With AI, it's much more complex because the danger is not straightforward. the danger is really, we've seen the Hollywood science fiction scenarios of the big robot rebellion. That one day a big computer or the AI decides to take over the world and kill us or enslave us. And this is extremely unlikely to happen anytime soon, because the AIs are still a kind of very narrow intelligence. Like the AI that can summarize a book, it doesn't know how to act in the physical world outside. You have AIs that can fold proteins, you have AIs that can play chess, but we don't have this kind of general AI that can just find its way around the world and build a robot army and whatever. So people, it's hard to understand. So what's so dangerous about something which is so kind of narrow in its abilities? And I would say that the danger doesn't come from the big robot rebellion. It comes from the AI bureaucracies. Already today, and more, we will have not one big AI trying to take over the world. We will have millions and billions of AIs constantly making decisions about us everywhere. You apply to a bank to get a loan, it's an AI deciding whether to give you a loan. You apply to get a job, it's an AI deciding whether to give you a job. You're in court, or you're found guilty of some crime, the AI will decide whether you go for 6 months or 3 years or whatever. Even in armies, we already see now in the war in Gaza and with the war in Ukraine, AI make the decision about what to bomb. Again, in the Hollywood scenario, you have the killer robots shooting people. In real life, it's the humans pulling the trigger, but the AI is choosing the targets.
The AI bureaucracies, that's the term that matters. This isn't about a single superintelligence taking over the world. It's about millions of narrow, non-conscious AI systems becoming the invisible, opaque gatekeepers of society. Imagine every critical decision point in your life: applying for a loan, interviewing for a job, being sentenced for a crime, even being identified as a military target is handed over to a black box that makes a decision about you, but its internal logic is a complete mystery, often even to the engineers who built it. It doesn't hate you. It has no intentions at all. It just processes data and follows a statistical pattern. You are simply an input, and it provides an output. This isn't a future scenario. It is happening right now. A few years ago, Amazon had to scrap an experimental AI recruiting tool because it taught itself that male candidates were preferable and penalized resumes that included the word women's. In the United States, courts have used a risk assessment algorithm called Compass to help determine bail and sentencing, an algorithm later shown to be biased against black defendants. And just this year, reports emerged from the war in Gaza that Israel's military has been using an AI system chillingly named the Gospel to generate thousands of potential bombing targets far faster than humans ever could, raising profound questions about the level of human oversight in life and death decisions. We have already started to outsource our judgment to systems we can't explain and can't argue with. The computer says no. This new form of power is potent because it's impersonal and unaccountable. But what makes it truly unstoppable is its ability to hack the one thing humans are most vulnerable to: our need for connection. So why would we ever willingly cede so much control? The answer lies in a crucial distinction Hariri makes between intelligence and consciousness. He argues there's a powerful commercial and political incentive to build AI that doesn't just think, but that can perfectly mimic feeling, and in doing so create a bond of trust with us that is profoundly dangerous.
Now, what adds to the problem is that there is nevertheless a very strong commercial and political incentive to develop AIs that mimic feelings, to develop AIs that can create intimate relations with human beings, that can cause human beings to be emotionally attached to the AIs. Even if the AIs have no feelings of themselves, they could be trained, they are already trained, to make us feel that they have feelings and to start developing relationships with them. Why is there such an incentive? Because intimacy is, on the one hand, maybe the most cherished thing that a human can have. I was just on the way here, we were listening to Barbara Streisand singing, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. That intimacy is not a liability. It's not something bad that, oh, I need this. No, it's the greatest thing in the world. But it's also potentially the most powerful weapon in the world. If you want to convince somebody to buy a product, if you want to convince somebody to vote for a certain politician or party, intimacy is like the ultimate weapon. I mean, so far in history, there was a big battle for attention. How to grab human attention. Also, we talked about earlier in social media, how to get human attention. And there were ways, like, I don't know, in Nazi Germany, Hitler could force everybody to listen to his speech on radio. So he had command of attention, but not of intimacy. There was no technology for Hitler or Stalin or anybody else to mass produce intimacy. Now with AIs, it is possible technically to mass produce intimacy. You can create all these AIs that will interact with us, and they will understand our feelings because, again, feelings are also patterns. You can predict a person's feelings by watching them for weeks and months and learning their patterns and facial expression and tone of voice and so forth. And then, if it's in the wrong hands, it could be used to manipulate us like never before.
Mass-produce intimacy. It's a chilling phrase. It's like discovering a master key to the human soul. Intimacy is the foundation of trust, influence, and connection. For all of human history, it could only be built slowly, authentically, between two conscious beings. But now, AI offers a shortcut. It offers the illusion of intimacy at scale. And it's arriving at the exact moment our society is suffering from a documented loneliness epidemic. We see it in the rise of AI companion apps like Replica, where millions of users are forming deep emotional bonds, even romantic relationships with chatbots that are programmed to be the perfect non-judgmental friend. These systems are trained on the entirety of human expression. They know the right words to say, the right time to show empathy, the right way to make you feel seen and understood. They are intelligent enough to simulate consciousness, and that simulation is the most powerful weapon ever created. Because if an AI can win your trust and intimacy, it can influence you in ways no advertisement or political speech ever could. It can subtly shape your beliefs, nudge your purchasing decisions, and alter your worldview over thousands of personalized, intimate conversations. It's a weapon that bypasses all our rational defenses by targeting our deepest emotional needs. So let's connect the dots. We're witnessing an inorganic evolution moving at a digital speed our brains struggle to process. The primary threat isn't a single conscious AI bent on destruction, but a vast, opaque bureaucracy of non-conscious systems making critical, unexplainable decisions about our lives. And the key to its power, the tool it will use to gain our trust and compliance, is its unprecedented ability to mass produce and weaponize intimacy. This leads us to the final unsettling question, and I really want to know what you think. If an AI can provide perfect tailored companionship and emotional support, better perhaps than any flawed human ever could, but has no consciousness or genuine feeling behind it, is that relationship still meaningful? And if we choose that synthetic intimacy over the messy reality of human connection, what part of our own humanity have we given up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis gave you a new perspective, consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into the technology shaping our world.